Yes, I'm Chris O'Donnell, and I actually work here at the FCA. So I lead one of our engineering capabilities here within cybersecurity. But firstly, I don't know I'm going to top Claire, so you might have to bear with me for the next 8 slides, and there is pizza afterwards, so it's a good deal. So I lead an engineering capability here at the FCA, mainly focused on cybersecurity. And what I want to talk to you today about is Ted Lasso. So it's a series which I watched not too long ago, and I thought I'm pretty sure we can convert these tactics into DevOps some way, shape, or form. And you'll notice that I'm on brand tonight as well with the Believe Cup as well. So I hope you appreciate that. So this is engineering tactics in the style of Ted Lasso. So we'll roll with it and see where we get to. But at least you'll enjoy the tote bags. Ted Lasso himself, if those of you who haven't watched Ted Lasso on Apple, he's very unique, he's charming, captivating, some would say. He uses a set of tactics to bring a football team, Richmond FC, which doesn't actually exist, from the bottom of the table to the top of the table over kind of a series of three seasons effect. It's enthralled with divorce and romance. We're not going to go there tonight, so that's very disappointing. But we are going to talk about how he brings the team up and obviously drives them to succeed. I want to try and highlight some things which maybe he got right, maybe he got wrong. So let's go for it. So the first one is be curious and not judgmental. So I've tried to do a Google Translate on this, and you'll see it over to the right-hand side of the slide. So when faced with something unfamiliar, ask questions and evolve. Don't dismiss straight away. Engineers who are always learning, always developing are way more powerful. I think that's quite relatable, right? So when I started the FCA team here about two years ago, we were very immature in our kind of ways of working, very greenfield. We had new technology coming in, which has never been seen before. And it's not as if engineers don't know their domain. It's what they want to focus on and their attitude and mindset and their skill set, which we really want to finesse. So that's what we took. We took this whole culture of be curious. It's great to be curious and really judge the work in which you're doing. So when someone puts a request into you, whether that's tuning a piece of software or editing a piece of code, we always ask, okay, is that really the most optimal way of doing it? And is that really what the customer wants? That's tactic number one. Tactic number two is believe. And this is really the ethos of where we've started here at the FCA, especially within cyber. So obviously in the series, if you haven't watched it, Ted hangs a sign above his door which says believe, and that's in the locker room. And this becomes a symbol of hope, trust, and encouraging the team to believe in themselves whenever the odds are against them. Naturally in life, we have some tough days, right? We build software, it doesn't work, we spend hours debugging, we identify issues with it, and it's not always what the customer wants. Maybe it's what the customer needs, but not necessarily what they want. So the DevOps tactic in this is all about showing action and showing your team that you can believe in them. So if you're leading from the front, there's a rugby analogy here with Steve, obviously a big game ahead of us at England. Maybe he should take this tactic as well, but that's controversial, so I'll extrapolate the rugby out of it for a minute. But if you lead from the front and recognise what your team can do and what they can achieve, then maybe that will lead us on to victory. So very, very insightful one there, obviously, and that's on the mug as well. This one's quite comical, so be a goldfish. And the idea here is that we're all going to make loads of mistakes. We're going to get loads of things wrong, but that's obviously where you get loads of learning from, natural tactic within Agile. But we should always focus on, moving forward and not really dwell on the failures. In Ted's words, Ted's eyes, Ted encourages players to have the memory of a goldfish that only lasts 10 seconds. This teaches them that things are going to go wrong. It's natural, and to a certain extent, you want one which you can't reverse. So you want to share these tough times with people, but always move on quite quickly and actually focus on what's next and what's coming up after the issue. Taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're not doing it comfortable, if you're comfortable, you're probably not doing it right. And I've got first-hand experience of this. I rode my first horse on the weekend. I was very lucky to do that. It was a thoroughbred. It was a racehorse. It was bloody uncomfortable. Well, it was okay for the first 2 minutes, but after that, I was ready to trot off, and that's me being polite. So the DevOps tactic on this is all about expanding the limits of the team, and when you do really learn something from staying in your comfort zone, always learning and always growing. I'm fortunate tonight to have a few people from my team here. I think they can probably relate to this, where I've invited them to calls and said, by the way, this is the admin configuration session for this platform we've just procured 2 days ago. And they've probably gone, what the actual are you doing to me? But, always expanding the mindset. So in Ted's views, Ted understands that growth happens outside of comfort zones. His coaching style often pushes players to step outside their boundaries and embrace discomfort from personal and also team growth, which I think is a real advantage to any DevOps team. This one's quite relatable, I think. I think that you might be so sure that you're 1 in a million that sometimes that you forget that actually you're 1 in 11. And obviously within Agile, you have maximum sprint time, you have maximum sprint teams, engineering teams, and it takes all sorts of skills and perspectives in the engineering team, and that's the crucial element. And this is why we're all together. So I don't want to hire the same personality, the same skill set over and over again. That's not going to enhance my capability. So in Ted's view, this emphasizes teamwork and the idea that no individual is bigger than the collective effort of the team. So how does this really impact the squad size? And it's one of many. So I think it's very relatable. It's something which I've certainly learned over the years. Doing the right thing is never the wrong thing, and that can be very controversial, especially if you've got customers saying, I want this, but there's layers of governance which you have to go through and arguably might be burnt at the end of it. So this speaks to Ted's core belief in that integrity and what he's doing right, even when it's hard or unpopular, which it can be, it's a guiding principle for both him in his life and also coaching career. So from a DevOps tactic, it's really easy to lose sight of the big picture. We should remain truthful to deliver, and this is what truly makes the team high performing. And it takes on new challenges, but also with a focus of the customer in mind to a certain degree. And I know this is probably touching many personal attributes of work in the audience tonight, and that's not done on purpose. Right, next one. It's not about the winning or losing. It's about helping these young lads be the best versions of themselves on and off the pitch. I think this is really crucial, and actually, personally, I'm really crap at this. I will ping my team at 8 o'clock at night, rightly or wrongly. Even though I'm online, I'm arguably a bachelor of London, and I can get away with not having the consequence of the kids screaming at 12 o'clock in the morning, etc. And it's all about remembering that the team, the engineers, have lives outside of work. So, Ted's view. Ted is more focused on personal development than the scoreboard, emphasising that success is measured by growth, character, and effort. And it's actually, as I say, this is probably one of the most relatable ones to me personally. Success is not about the wins or the losses. It's about helping the guys be the best versions of themselves. DevOps tactic. This is the legacy that you build and the impact around you. Inspire and empower people to get to the next level. Absolutely fundamental with any engineering team, albeit in any organisation. So Ted's view, in his long-term vision, this involves making players better people, not just better footballers. Ted believes in a holistic approach, aiming for success in life and not just on the pitch, which is brilliant. Unfortunately, our pitch is coding, not football. So how do we summarise this up at the FCA? So our motto internally within cybersecurity engineering is actually taken one from Steve Jobs many years ago, which he articulated at Stanford University. It's all about staying hungry and staying foolish. I, for one, am not one to have a single product which is going to evolve and evolve and evolve. I want more products, more emphasis, and more enthusiasm for how we take on the next challenge. And what we're doing here, especially with my team, is that we're aiming to build automation and great DevOps for the regulator of tomorrow. And that's really how we're trying to pioneer success. That's a summary of the DevOps tactics. But while I sat there listening to Jagpal's speech at the start of the evening, I was trying to relate when I actually first joined the Agile Roundabout and what year that was. So I kind of brought the Agile Roundabout here tonight through my enthusiasm of this audience, and I've been to many. And I remembered it was in November 2017 at Agile Roundabout number 23, of which where Megan Kaywood presented while at Starling. And actually, if you look at her career today and how influential this has been to many of her careers there. So, on a wrap, that's me. I've been Chris O'Donnell. I'll be Ted Lasso. You can pick. But yeah, you can hear more about me online, on LinkedIn, etc. But thank you very much.